Jurgen Klopp himself is aware of the whispers. Liverpool's midfield is not strong enough. I don't necessarily agree with that, but that does seem to be a paradigm that we need to explore. Joining me to talk it through is the one, the only, wonderful Ade Oladipo. Ade, as always, an honour to welcome you onto this channel, but as a devoted Liverpool fan, you concerned about the lack of depth in the middle?
No.
No, I don't think you should be.
Honestly, not really. I am surprised of a few names that are still there. And maybe shifting those has been a problem in terms of getting them off the wage bill to then bring in, and I know we're going to talk about Jude Bellingham, a person of that stature is going to be on big money, so you've got to shift a few in order to accommodate. I'm shocked that Ox is still there. I thought he might have been out the door this summer. I thought maybe, a Newcastle, someone might have gone for an Ox, or maybe, Newcastle even above an Ox right now. I don't know. But, look at the depth. I've got the midfield in front of me. The options, Fabinho, Thiago, Milner, Keita, Henderson, the Ox, and then young players, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, and Tyler Morton, and young Fabio Carvalho. The problem is, you're comparing it to Man City's. That's the problem. And I guess that's the
But you have to do that, mate. That's who you're fighting. That's who the opposition are. In terms of Liverpool and winning the league, the only relevant side to stop you doing that is Man City. And therefore, when we explore midfields, we're comparing it to Man City's. Yeah. But you've declared war on them. That's the rules.
I've always looked at Liverpool's midfield. I've never looked at it, and especially compared to Man City's, I've never looked at it as like we're going to go man for man, quality for quality. It's not going to happen. But that's been the engine. And it's a different type of midfield. It's robust. It works. It's full of workhorses. You look at Fabinho, workhorse. Jordan Henderson, workhorse. Milner, when he comes in, workhorse. I still feel like we've missed Wijnaldum at stages. He's not really been replaced.
There's an obvious flaw in the middle. I mean, I don't want to just focus on the negative because I rate Liverpool so much. I'm fully aware of the brilliance of Klopp, but there is a huge flaw in your midfield.
What?
Goals, bro. Goals. There's no goals in it. There's no goal scorers. I'd say your best midfield is what? Alcantara, Henderson, Fabinho.
Yeah.
If they played let's say they played 30 games together, how many goals are the three of them going to get combined?
10.
Which is obviously nowhere near enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's enough when you've got Mane, Firmino, Salah, the best front three in world football. It's enough then because it doesn't matter if they don't score any.
Well, it's proven to be enough. The last 4 or 5 seasons, that's been the midfield. Obviously, minus Thiago, it was Wijnaldum.
Can I be very harsh on you?
Go on.
I'd say it's proven to not be enough.
What, in terms of goals?
In terms of success. As good as Liverpool have been, you've won one league.
So you'd put down the Liverpool non-success on the midfield?
You said it's proved to be enough.
Yeah.
That would suggest
depends on what you want it to do. When you look at the midfield, what are they ticking the boxes they're supposed to do? Fabinho, Henderson and Thiago are not there to be goal-scoring midfielders because they're not.
No.
Fabinho's there to protect the back four. He does that. Henderson's there to protect Trent Alexander when he bombs forward and gets the assist. He does that. Thiago's there to be creative, and I think we can all say he's done that. So it's ticking the boxes that it's supposed to do. Now, if there was a goal-scoring midfielder in there and he wasn't scoring goals, then there's a flaw there, and then Klopp can say, okay, look, cause, to be honest, I thought Naby Keita was brought in to do that, and it's not worked. When I think of all the signings that Klopp's made, and the one that really has let me down, it's Naby Keita. He took on that number 8 jersey, and he was going to be the goal-scoring midfielder, and he was going to do this and do that, and everyone was looking at the YouTube clips before of him, dropping his shoulder and going past people.
As well, got a ping.
Yeah, I thought he brought in Ox and Naby Keita as the goal-scoring midfielders, and it hasn't worked with either of them.
So, say you are, I know you're not part of this camp, but if you're a doubter, how do you turn a doubter into a believer? Is the answer Jude Bellingham?
Don't know. Is he a goal-scoring midfielder?
Yeah. I think he likes a late arrival, doesn't he?
Yeah, he likes a late arrival. Is he your 10 to 15 goals a midfielder score? I don't know if he's that. I don't mind the hold-up on Jude Bellingham. He's only 19, and I look at Liverpool, and I feel like this is Milner's last season. It's going to be Ox's last season. I think there's going to be a big change in Liverpool's midfield next season. Henderson, as a starter, might be his last season. And then it's going to be a big money move for Jude. I really think that's going to happen.
And it will be massive, because it will be 101 million next summer.
It's going to be big.
101 million. 101 million.
Yeah.
He's a child.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Still a child.
As a 20, he'll be 20.
He'll be 20.
He'll be 20, and you're taking that risk. And it's a big one, but this is... And it's funny because obviously Klopp's had to change his tune. When he came in, it was like, you don't need to spend that kind of money on players. You kind of, coaching, you have no choice.
You have no choice.
And the big ones have been successful for him. Van Dijk's been successful and so has Alisson. So the big ones have been successful. So you almost do trust him to spend the money.
Do you know what I think is a bit of a red flag for Liverpool?
Go on.
Klopp obviously wanted Tchouaméni. He obviously wanted to reinforce his middle. So as much as he's saying he's happy with the midfield, and he speaks brilliantly about the talents of Harvey Elliott, I think Harvey Elliott's going to have a big season for you.
I
mean,
agree.
Tyler Morton seems like a very good player. There's a lot.
He'll be in and around the squad, yeah.
But you don't go for Tchouaméni in the way that Liverpool did if you're completely happy with your midfield options.
Yeah.
So the fact that you lost out on Tchouaméni is a slight red flag. I don't think Liverpool are going to struggle by any stretch.
What's interesting is that we lost out on Tchouaméni. You are correct. Didn't bring anyone else in.
No, but when you're Liverpool and you operate
that high
at such an elite level, there isn't. It's not like. Look, mate. Even Chelsea. Say Chelsea don't get Jules Koundé, they could get De Ligt, because at that level there's an awful lot of interchangeable players. But when you're Liverpool and you're basically operating where there isn't an alternative, because the reason that these players cost so much money is because they're basically an original.
Yeah, they're the best of the best.
They're the best of the best. There isn't another option.
Yeah.
You know, Koundé is very good. De Ligt is very good.
Yeah.
But Liverpool aren't really buying very good footballers anymore.
No, you're trying to buy someone that's going to... And
you're buying the very best.
You have to buy someone that's going to come in at that kind of money, start and make a difference.
Yeah, and be better than one of the three.
What they've got there, as the three.
Which doesn't exist, really.
No, it's going to be difficult. You've got to improve it. And the way to improve that midfield is, like you say, it's a goal-scoring midfielder.
Why are we so confident that Liverpool are going to go for Bellingham? Because it does feel like such a natural fit, doesn't it? I don't think it will surprise anyone if this time next year we're having a conversation around
I wouldn't
Bellingham.
be shocked if it's done already.
Do you think?
Yeah, I feel like behind the scenes, deals like this, I feel like they're already kind of sort of handshakes been done already. Like Haaland to Man City, I think that was done.
And maybe
7-8 months
Klopp's
ago.
relationship with Dortmund and Bellingham's desire to come back to the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's just a natural fit.
Yeah, and everyone starts to look at things like when he likes a Jordan Henderson Instagram post and everyone gets excited about it. His favourite player, being Steven Gerrard when he was growing up watching as a 10-year-old. I don't know, so maybe those little things, I'm not quite sure. But look, I think it's a midfield that eventually will need improving. But I also want to see what the youngsters can do this season as well. I want to see Curtis Jones get more minutes. I want to see Harvey Elliott, before he got his injury, get more minutes. I want to see what this Fabio Carvalho can do. A lot of Fulham fans excited about him and what he can do. It was shocking for me to hear him just talk like a Londoner. I don't know why. I was surprised. Carvalho, as soon as Portuguese international, and I forgot that he played for
does
England.
Does he sound like us?
Yeah. England under 15, under 16, under 18, England, all those age groups, and then obviously just a senior for Portugal.
Oh, that is fun. I didn't know that.
Yeah, not to lie. Until he started speaking, I was like, what?
Really?
Yeah, it's good to be at Anfield. I was like, what's going on?
Really?
Where's the accent? Yeah.
Okay, that is funny.
So it'll be interesting to see what he can do, because we've been wanting to get him. We were supposed to get him in January. They left it a bit, and now obviously we'll see what he can do. But I don't know, man.
There's a good quote from Jurgen Klopp talking about Liverpool's midfield, and I'm going to put it to you. And I'm not, of course, I understand that you will defer to Jurgen Klopp and the mind and the wonderful footballing ability of Jurgen Klopp. But do you agree with this?
Go on, let me hear it.
We can go through it. Where do you want me to start? So, Fabinho, Jordan Henderson, Thiago Alcantara, James Milner, Naby Keita, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Fabio Carvalho, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Now, you tell me what kind of player we are missing. One who is offensive, 1.95 metres, and arrives into the box to head balls in. Okay, apart from that. So, effectively, he has acknowledged that there is a Bellingham-sized hole in your midfield.
Yeah.
Do you think that the midfield that I read out, all of those players, is enough to... What's the dream for Liverpool, the Premier League title?
Premier League.
Okay. That midfield that I read out, any three of the above, strong enough to win the league?
Yeah.
Even without Sadio Mane? And because surely now...
Even without Sadio.
Surely now the goals are going to have to... You don't expect... Surely the pressure isn't on Darwin Núñez to literally score the goals that Sadio Mane left.
Yes, there is, yeah.
No, that's unjust,
I'm sorry.
man.
Well, sorry. So you buy someone for 80 plus million, you better fill your boots early, son. No, but I expect it to be shared amongst him, Jota and Diaz, if I'm honest with you. I expect Mane to get... Sorry, Salah. Look at him, I'm still missing Mane. I expect Salah to still get his 30 plus, and I think we'll be surprised if he doesn't get that. But then I expect it to be shared around. Jota got 20 plus last season. Firmino will probably, fingers crossed, hit double figures, maybe 10, 11. So I think it will be shared around those three. Firmino, Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz. I think they will replace Mane's goals. What did Mane get last season? 24, 25?
Big goals, though.
Big goals.
Didn't stop scoring.
big goals, big game player. But again, you'd like to think that Klopp doesn't make mistakes with signings like this. I'm still a bit sketchy with Nunes, just because again we're talking about doing it in the Portuguese league, which is one of the lesser leagues. Let's be honest, it's not even like the Bundesliga, which we consider a lesser league in terms of ability. So we'll see what he can do. But I have faith in that, and I've got faith in the midfield. I've got faith in Fabinho. I think's fantastic. Thiago, we all know how brilliant he is, and look, we did a video earlier talking about Harry Maguire and captaincy, and we've got Jordan Henderson, who I think is the best captain in the Premier League. I really do. Best captain.
There's no reason to suggest it's not bigger than that. Why is he not the best captain in the world?
Yeah,
captained a club to a European Cup final, failed, captained them again the following season. That sort of resilience is actually, it's so unique. Yeah. It's truly, truly brilliant.
I pray, what I pray for, and you probably have the same with Pulisic, and you've probably given up on Pulisic now, to be honest with you. It's Ox. I just feel like that was the goal scoring midfielder we bought. And look, he's clearly not going to be that guy now. I'm not silly. He must be approaching 30 now, and we haven't seen the best Ox for years. He was the goal scoring midfielder, the late arrival in the box. That was him. Could shoot from 25 yards. There's a little ping on him. For Liverpool not to offload him, I'm hoping there's something there. And it can still happen. The window's still open. But you're hoping that we get more from him. We hope we get a bit more from Naby Keita, who just seems to play 5 games, then gets a knock, then plays 5 games, then gets a knock. But every time he goes away for Guinea, he just seems to score the winning goal. So I'm hoping we can get something from him. But I think Harvey Elliott will have a big season as well.
I think Harvey Elliott, there's a lot of talk about him. In fact, Jurgen Klopp intimated that there could be a new system. Like Liverpool have been so effective in their system. But did you see where he basically said, we might only need 2 midfielders?
Interesting.
Which suggests maybe 4-4-2. I can see a world where that would happen. If that happens, suddenly your midfield looks very strong, doesn't it? Because rather than having to find 3 midfielders every week, you only have to find 2.
Yeah, because then you've got Salah on the right, you've got Diaz on the left, and ideally you've got Fabinho and Thiago. And do you know what I mean? And it completely changes. Or you could have Harvey Elliott could come in sometimes on the right.
Well, Harvey Elliott's an interesting one this year for Liverpool, I think.
Yeah.
Because
Even for him.
Klopp keeps talking about him. Like, when you think about Jurgen Klopp giving an interview, when you think about the massive characters, it's weird. All of this build-up to the game in Thailand, it's Harvey Elliott. He's talking about the first 4 games of last season before the injury and how influential he was. He was outstanding. He was our best player. Then he got the injury. They're putting a lot of, not pressure, but, hope. But with hope comes pressure. I think
it's almost in the hope that he hears this as well. You want to be like that and think, okay, I need to take it to that next level. It's all well and good now. I've broken into the England 21 squad. How do I go to that next level? How can I be Liverpool's, and this is a big name drop, and I'm not trying to say he's anywhere near this kid, but how can I be Liverpool's Phil Foden? How can I be that guy? Because he's got a pressure now. Fabio Carvalho's come from the same club as well, Fulham, and he's going to say, okay, 1 second, I want to get in this. You've been harassing me for a year and a half. Liverpool have been chasing him. I want to start. Curtis Jones is probably thinking, I want a piece of this as well.
Jones, Elliott, Carvalho then. Do you think they are going to feature heavily this season?
Yeah. I do.
It's exciting for Liverpool.
Just because I don't know. I know Thiago had a better season in terms of injuries last season, but I think Thiago has been hit and miss when it comes to injuries. And you're thinking, okay, who can be a bit like that? And it's a big ask, don't get me wrong, but all 3 of those players are creative type players. Drop a shoulder, see a pass, all 3 of them. And it's a case of who can take that one position. And everyone's excited about maybe Harvey and Fabio. Don't rule out Curtis Jones, who again is only 20. Curtis Jones is only 21 as well. There's a lot of pressure on these youngsters.
And they might be looking at it thinking, if this Bellingham deal is agreed, let's just pretend that it is. They all might be looking at it thinking, we need to cement our place now because there's even more competition next year. Maybe it'll be the end of, say, Milner. Maybe it'll be the end of Henderson, at least in the capacity that we know him. But then a player worth over 100 million is coming to play in midfield. So we need to get our position nailed down now.
Mate, what I've seen with Klopp, and he's done it quietly and kind of maybe the correct way, and I think you mentioned this when I was speaking about Minamino the other day. I was like, Minamino's gone. And you're like, Ade, 1 second. He's not good enough. He's gone because he's not good enough. Origi went. It's not good enough. I love it. Lord Origi.
Not good enough for Liverpool.
Not good enough for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Shaqiri, went last season before. Not good enough. Eventually, you will say goodbye. Do you know what I mean? If you're not, if you're not, Nico Williams, love him. Right back. Every time he came on, covered Trent. Eventually, not good enough. Sold him. Yeah. You will get shipped out. And one of these players, if they don't step up, you get a season under Klopp. He'll look at you. You'll go.
Yeah.
Eventually you go.
And the only way is down.
The only way is down.
It's the opposite to the only way is Essex.
The only way is Essex. So look, if I'm one of these players, you've got to step up this season. You've got to. You've got to be thinking Milner's gone next season. Henderson's fighting for his place. Naby, Ox. Like, who is the fourth choice midfielder that comes on when the front three are not, the main three are not firing? And if I'm Curtis Jones, if I'm Harvey Elliott, if I'm Tyler Morton, if I'm Fabio Carvalho, I'm thinking I have to nail a place down here.
Huge, absolutely huge. Mr. Adeola Depot, this has been brilliant. I love talking
to you. Very quickly though, I'd love to see him midfield.
Go on.
Firmino. I'd love to see him drop into midfield. I think he's Thiago.
Is he tenacious enough?
Yeah,
for a midfielder.
I think he is.
Is there enough?
I don't think there's enough movement in him, but I think his head's on a swivel. I think he's smart. He sees a pass. He sees a pass like Thiago sees a pass. He's the only one. I don't know if it's the Brazilian thing, obviously, but he sees a pass like that. I know Spanish Thiago, but you know his Brazilian heritage. He sees that. I'd love to see him midfield.
Well, if this 4-4-2 thing, if two midfielders ends up being deployed, you never know. You never know. It could end up happening for Firmino. This has been brilliant, Addy. Really do appreciate you doing these videos. As always, make sure that you subscribe to Addy Oladipo's channel. The link to it is in the description below. Please also like this video. It does massively help us out if you would be so kind. And if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please consider doing it right now. We will see you all in a bit. Have a wonderful afternoon. Ta-ra.